before I start building this base, I have to decide what kind of feet am I going to have on those posts. Either old school casters or these adjustable felt pads. And I'll show them to you close up. There's the casters and then this adjustable pad. Either one of them is more than acceptable, but look at the difference. And this distance, this doesn't matter, but this does matter. You have to keep this in mind when you go to do your figuring on how you're going to cut your wood. So I think in this scenario, in fact I know in this scenario I'm going with these old school casters because this table is going to be extremely heavy, and so if it'd just be real easy with these, and they lock, these lock, so you're not going to sit down at the table and have it roll out from under you. But if you want to move that table to clean or whatever, a small person, housewife, can easily just roll the table around. This is going to be the table legs for this base. These were the knee braces out of a barn. And you've got your wooden beam here, and then those braces come in here like this. I'll determine on here, looking at abnormalities and what have you, on where I need to do my cut. Surprisingly, they're pretty flat. Not too much. That's got a little wobble to it. Not too bad for what this old wood could be. So, man, that's good wood. All right. So, what I'm going to do now is mark these. Okay, I'm going to cut, see where that beveled edge is? I'm going to cut just back of that line on this piece, and then that'll give me a good long piece here to use for legs on something else. 3.5. For this one here though, these three are pretty much the same. This one is a little bit different because of the split in it, but that just adds character. So I'm going to go over here to the saw and make the first cut, and then measure off of that. Legs we cut, and if you recall, they weren't 4 inches one way, 3.5 the other way. So when you put these legs on, you want to make sure they're all turned the same. But any of you that watched any of my videos know that I don't make plans, I don't draw anything up. My plans are in my head. And really, whether I'm building a coffee table or a dining room table, I like to use this type of framework that you're going to see. So the 2x, I'm going to use 2x4s, new wood, because I want this dude to be, I don't want to mess with old wood that's got the abnormalities. I want new wood that's absolutely straight and not crooked. So I'm going to start building this. The posts themselves actually will set slightly outside this blue line. The framework will be inside this blue line. And then it's going to have drawers, and I'll be able to put an 18-inch drawer in there. That'll be good. So, okay. So base is cut. They're not put together, but this is how they're going to go. Those legs will go in there like that. And, you know, like this. You know, it's not even, but anyways, there'll be two of those. Two of these perfectly square. And there'll be one up here and one down here. And then they'll also be connected. And by doing it that way, even though these legs might have, you know, slight, you know, a little bit out of square, this is the only way I have found that you can keep everything square with something that's not exactly square. So anyway, let's build this frame. This frame will pocket hole screw into those posts. Now, here the other day, you saw me make this. So here we go again. This rascal is going to keep this exactly square. So I extended this board out to give me more room in here. So now I can clamp it down and do what I need to do. But by doing this, that is a perfect So I'm going to do the same thing here I did on the other end. You want to make sure you put your screw in between these two, because you're going to have pocket hole screws going in here into the posts. So you want to make sure you clear those. But I'm using 2.5 inch. Let me get squared up on this. I'm using 2.5 inch screws for this. So what I'm going to do now is do a second frame exactly like this one, and then we'll be ready to put the posts in and kind of make it start looking like something. This frame is now put together perfectly square. There's another frame just like it that will go in here, and I've got pocket holes here and here, pocket holes here to screw into those posts. And as long as these frames are absolutely square, it doesn't matter if these posts are a little twisted, tiny bit, it'll all come out in the wash. So I'm going to go ahead and screw this frame on, and then we'll flip it over and put the other frame on, and then we're cooking with peanut oil. This will start looking like something. thing over and attach the frame to the bottom side of this, and it'll start looking like something. All right, good deal. And then, you know, these casters, they'll set up there like that, and will be golden. So the same process. I've got pocket screws in it. I'll just screw this base to those posts. Man, a day would not start without coffee. So here I am back in the shop. This base is all framed in for this dining room table. I did go ahead and I put the rollers on, and now I'm going to get the inside of this thing kind of framed in so that I can get ready to build the drawer. It's going to have a soft close drawer in it. So that's what I am going to do now. And then once that occurs, then I can start putting the siding on it, and I'll be using barn siding for it. So let's get started. So here is the back side of the cabinet for the dining room table. Got a little red in it. I like it. Also, the front side will have the soft close drawer. So anyway, this is kind of starting to take shape. Well, here I am back onto this, the base for the dining room table. And so all I'm going to do is just cut. I've already cut some pieces. They'll go in there like this. I stained these two edges just in case. I just don't want anybody to see any of this colored wood, but I don't think they will, because these pieces will hang down about a quarter of an inch below, and then these little pieces will be about a quarter of an inch above. So when I pull this drawer out, there could be a little bit of this wood showing on each end, and I don't want that. So that's why I stain. I always, if it can be seen, I like to cover it up. So anyway, let's get these pieces on and wind up this the siding on this. I've got all the facing on this base, and I didn't want it all red. I just wanted some red, so I kind of, you know, I don't know, pick and choose, kind of alternated it. It doesn't matter that this is uneven up here, because around the top of this will be, it'll be like that, and this will screw down to the tabletop, and then it'll slide over this and you know, hold it on. So anyway, this is what it looks like all the way around. I think it turned out okay. And then this is the back side. So now the next thing to do is to start cutting out a drawer and put soft close drawer that's in the base for this dining room table. I didn't show you. I mean, this drawer is made no different than any of the other drawers on some of my videos. I didn't bother to show all you know, the cut and that. As with the rest of my drawers, this is all put together with pocket screws. And so in the front you can see the pocket screws, but they're going to be covered with the drawer face. In the back you would be able to see them, but you can't because, you know, they're in the back. And then the bottom, if you were to look at the bottom, you could see the pocket screws, but who cares? You can't see them. So everything will be covered up. I'm going to make the drawer front 1 inch overlap all the way. All right, so this is going to be the drawer front. And that'll work. So if you've seen my other videos, I'm going to make this drawer front the same as I've always made them. All of my drawer fronts and cabinet doors are the same. And so this will have a 2-inch decorative edge on it. So what I'll do is use pocket screws to put these two together. Those pocket screws will be hid by that drawer front. So since I'm 1 inch over, see, I want to make sure that I hold my first pocket screw in 2.5 inches. That way it won't show outside this drawer. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and mark it, and then go over here and drill some pocket screws in. The base. This base is done for this dining room table. So just to go back of what I did, of course these posts were all cut to length, and then the frame inside was with new wood. I wanted that frame absolutely perfect. It's a little hard with old wood, so I framed it up inside with new wood. So this is Barnwood all the way around that was sanded off with 60 grain sandpaper orbital sander. Just knock the edge off. You know, you can rub your hand on there and it's rough, but it's, you know, not as rough. And then it was coated with polyurethane water-based semi-gloss. So then the drawer is a soft close drawer, 51 inches long by 21 inches inside. Nice big drawer. This drawer front, same thing. It was barn siding that was sanded off with 60 grit and then finished just like that barn siding over there. I routed the edge on the stiles and rails. I do that on all of my cabinet doors, drawer fronts, unless somebody wants it different, but that's just my style. I think it looks real nice. Now when you router the edge of this, I want a lip right here. There's about a little more than a 1/16 inch lip right there, and I want that. And the reason I want that is because when I apply the oil-based semi-gloss polyurethane, that edge gives a place for my brush to ride on, and you're not always trying to slip over and get polyurethane where you don't want it. So by leaving a decent little edge on there, it gives a place for your brush to ride on. You can get a good, good edge with your polyurethane. So this dry, and then it's gonna be time to move on and get this thing done.